The Council of Ministers has adopted a decree dissolving political parties and organizations, as well as a draft law repealing the legislative framework, governing, among other things, the creation, operation, and financing of political parties and organizations, as well as the status of the leader of the opposition.
The news from Burkina Faso did not arrive quietly. It landed like a heavy stone in still water, sending waves across Africa and far beyond. On January 29, 2026, the country's military-led authorities announced a decision that shocked some, angered others, and made many people stop and think. All political parties were dissolved. The laws that allowed them to exist were scrapped. In one moment, an entire political system that had taken decades to build was completely brought to a halt. This is not just a Burkina Faso story. This is an African story, and if you stay with us till the end, you may see it from a different angle. To understand how Burkina Faso reached this point, we must go back step by step. In September 2022, the country experienced a military takeover after years of insecurity, frustration, and fear. Armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and Islamic State had been attacking towns and villages for nearly a decade. Thousands of people had lost their lives. Millions had been forced to flee their homes. Many citizens felt abandoned, unsafe, and unheard. After the coup, political activities were suspended with the promise that this was temporary and necessary to stabilize the country. Fast forward to January 2026. After a meeting of the Council of Ministers, the government made its boldest move yet. Interior Minister Emile Zebo stood before the nation and explained that dissolving all political parties was part of an effort to rebuild the state. According to the authorities, the political system that existed before had stopped working. They said it no longer served the people. Instead of uniting the nation, it had divided it. Instead of helping governance, it had weakened it. Before the coup, Burkina Faso officially had more than 100 registered political parties. Yes, you heard that right, over 100 political parties. Yet, after the 2020 elections, only 15 of those parties were represented in parliament. For many ordinary citizens, this number meant little. What they felt was the reality on the ground: insecurity, poverty, displacement, and fear. The government now argues that the explosion of political parties created confusion, rivalry, and social tension rather than real solutions. Under this new decree, all parties are legally dissolved. Their offices, property, and assets will be taken over by the state. New laws will cancel party financing rules and even remove the official legal status of an opposition leader. In simple terms, the entire political party system has been wiped clean, at least for now. Authorities say new structures will be built later after the state has been repaired. This decision immediately sparked intense debate. Critics across Africa and the world warned that dissolving political parties concentrate power in the hands of a few. They fear that without parties, citizens will lose their voices. They argue that democracy needs competition, choice, and opposition. From this point of view, the move seems like a dangerous step backward. But there is another side of this story which deserves to be heard honestly and calmly. Some supporters of Burkina Faso's transitional authority say the discussion should not stop at the word multi-party. They ask a painful question: what does having many political parties really mean if people are still suffering, dying, and running from violence? Across Africa, several countries officially operate multi-party systems. Uganda and Tanzania are often mentioned as examples. These countries have many registered political parties. Elections are held. Opposition parties exist on paper. Yet, in reality, protests are sometimes crushed. Opposition leaders are arrested, and election periods can turn violent. In some cases, civilians have paid with their lives. So, the presence of many parties does not always equal freedom, safety, or true choice. This raises a deeper issue that many feel uncomfortable discussing. Can a system be called democratic just because it allows political parties to exist, even when dissent is punished and citizens live in fear? Or is democracy supposed to be about dignity, safety, and a state that actually works for its people? Supporters of the Burkina Faso decision say the country is facing an emergency, not normal times. They point to the ongoing insurgency that has torn communities apart for years. Schools have closed, health centers have been destroyed, entire regions have been unreachable. In such conditions, they argue, politics as usual becomes a luxury that the state cannot afford. They believe national unity, discipline, and rebuilding state authority must come before party competition. This does not mean the decision is easy, harmless, or without risk. Even those who understand the government's reasoning admit that dissolving all political parties is an extreme step. Power without clear limits can become dangerous. History in Africa and beyond has shown this many times. This is why the future path matters more than the decree itself. What replaces the old system? How long will this transition last? And who will hold the authorities accountable? For many ordinary Burkinabe citizens, emotions are mixed. Some feel relief, hoping that this will finally bring order and security. Others feel fear, worried that their voices will disappear completely. Many are simply tired, tired of slogans, tired of elections that changes nothing, tired of leaders who argue why villages burn. This moment forces Africa to look in the mirror. It challenges the idea that copying political systems from elsewhere automatically brings progress. It asks whether African states should first focus on building strong institutions, safety, and trust before importing political models that may not fit their realities. Here on Africa Unchained, we do not tell you what to think. Our role is to present the facts, explore the deeper meaning, and open space for honest conversation. Burkina Faso's decision may fail or it may succeed in ways that few expect. What is certain is that it will shape debate about governance, democracy, and sovereignty across the continent for years to come. If you believe Africa deserves serious conversations, not shallow headlines, then this channel is for you. Subscribe to Africa Unchained and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the stories shaping our continent. Now, we would like to hear from you, our dear Africa Unchained family. Do you think dissolving all political parties was a necessary step to rebuild Burkina Faso, or a dangerous move that threatens freedom? Can security and unity come before politics? Or must politics always come first? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk respectfully and honestly. Africa is watching and the future is being written now.